Welcome to this Windows Computer and Technology channel. Another common problem that I want to talk about is printers that do this. So you might be printing something and suddenly you notice that the letters or whatever you're printing has these weird streaks on them like that, missing lines or incomplete characters. This is typical of a clogged printer head. And there are reasons this happens. Why does this happen? This happens because of several reasons. First of all, it is always best to use the original ink that the printer manufacturer makes. It is different than the cheap inks that you can purchase online at half the price or, one third of the price. Not they're all bad, because there are some that are good, but it's always best. The main problem that this happens often is because you don't print enough. You might think that, oh, well, I only print when I need to print. Well, you might not print enough to keep it working right. If you print only a few pages and then leave your printer unused for months, the leftover ink that could be in the nozzle can actually dry out, and then it creates this problem. The best recommendation is to print at least 1 or 2 pages every month. If you're not a big printer user, do the printing of a page or two. It doesn't have to be a lot of printing, but as long as it uses the colors and the black and white, then you can be printing, of course, a few pages just to make sure that it keeps the printer up and running smoothly. The other common problem of why this happens is that people have a tendency to keep their printers on all the time. Now, if you have a Wi-Fi printer, you might say it's convenient that I keep my printer on, because when I want to use it, I already just click the print button. Well, your printer needs to be shut down when you're not using it for a long period of time. Yes, it can be turned on and left on all day long, no problem. But usually, you should have the habit of shutting it down at night and turning it back on in the morning. Why? Because when you do that procedure, most printers will do a very quick and small cleaning cycle as it shuts down and as it restarts. That's why you hear it doing a few things every time you turn it on. If it did not do that, it would not be cleaning itself. So when you turn it on and you hear it doing a little bit of, like you hear some mechanical stuff happening in it, it's actually doing a little bit of a nozzle check and a small cleaning, very, very quick cleaning to make sure the nozzle is ready to print something. Also, often it puts the nozzle and the print head in a position where the ink cannot dry as fast. So shutting down your Wi-Fi printers and your printers in general is a very good idea rather than keeping them on all the time. So that will prevent that this happens on your printer. How do you fix this? Well, most of the time there's a procedure, and it's impossible here to really show that procedure specifically because each manufacturer has its own way of doing it. But refer to your manuals, refer to the documentation. It will tell you how to do a clean process, a print nozzle clean process. Usually there's 2 cycles. There's a quick clean process, which will try to unclog quickly by printing a little something and by, of course, eating the elements to make sure that all the ink actually moves off, and it kind of pushes some ink through it to try to unclog. If it's not very heavy and it's clogging, it might work. But if you are very clogged, if it's very bad, then there's a deeper cycle of cleaning that the printer has. Keep in mind that that deep cycle uses a lot of ink, and that actually will show easily that your inks are actually going down fast. So when I hear people telling me, well, I don't want to print a page once, 1 or 2 pages a month, it's going to cost me ink. It costs you less ink to print 2 pages a month to keep your printer in top shape than it is to do a deep cycle cleaning, because you have to unclog the print head. And often you need more than one cycle. Keep in mind, most printers today that have ink reservoirs, like Epson printers, for example, do not do more than 2 deep cycles in a matter of an hour or two. Once you do 2 deep cycles, wait 24 hours. Why? Because the ink is going to settle and there is going to be some change. Sometimes you might be tempted to do deep cleaning cycles 4, 5, 6, 7 times. That actually might make things worse. So you do 1 deep cycle, maybe a second one if you see that it's still clogged, but leave it alone for 24 hours after you do that. And the next day, there's a good chance that if you print something, it might actually be perfect. It's not because it seems to be clogged at the time that it's still clogged. Sometimes it's just because, since the deep cleaning cycle takes a lot of ink, sometimes the ink and the way that the printer processes that ink to send to the print head and the nozzle means that it's actually out of ink. And so it's doing streaks, but it's not because it's clogged. It's just missing ink. So by leaving it 24 hours, you are actually allowing that ink to settle down and be back to normal in the levels. So make sure that you take care of that printer. This is really a problem that is very common. And shut down your printer when you know you're not going to use it for several days. It will help. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.